I feel like we're Dutch angled. Is that...
You felt like that last time, though.
Were we?
I don't know. There's nothing I can do to fix it, so...
That's true. Like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's just... Everyone knows.
I'll fix it in post.
People know that there's something not right with the world. Hey, we're two fat guys.
And we just watched a boatload of movies. We got Mystery Men.
Mystery Men.
And Hellboy.
Hellboy.
And Hellboy 2, The Golden Army.
Yes. You seemed unsure about that.
I couldn't remember if it was just Hellboy, The Golden Army, or if it was Hellboy 2.
Fairly certain it's Hellboy 2, The Golden Army.
Yeah, that's
and
I
if
think
not,
it uses the 2.
If not, may the internet have nerd rage for once in its existence.
Oh.
First time in internet history. So,
I don't have a whole lot to say about these films.
Yeah, that's kind of why we grouped them together, because these three specifically are the ones that I've seen the most out of this marathon, the ones that like I was a fan of going in.
I've seen the most recently.
Yeah, I've seen the most recently. I own these movies. I rewatch them frequently.
None of them, at least in the circles that I run in, are, I think, disliked or even unviewed. Like, I think most of my friends have probably made them watch Mystery Men.
Yeah, know what's what. It's Guillermo del Toro for the Hellboys.
Mystery Men. Oh, right.
Yeah. Oh man, if only that'd be a dark, twisted mystery man.
Oh man, that'd be awesome though.
Yeah, right.
Like his take on a lot of those characters would be pretty good.
So yeah, we'll start with Mystery Men. A great. I feel like, well, except for like all of my friends, I feel like the world at large just missed out on this movie. Like they didn't get it. But
yeah,
me
like
and all my friends did.
Occasionally, I'll catch people making references to it, but
To be fair, I don't make a whole lot of references to it, but I love it. It was an enjoyable part of my youth.
I do use the nemesises. What is the plural? Nemesis. I think fondly on that scene fairly regularly.
Yeah.
Probably once a month at the very least.
That's fair. You do take stock of your nemesis once a month, so
yeah.
That seems a natural use of it. It's funny. It's great. The cast solid.
Oh
across
God,
the board.
yeah. William H. Macy. That's all. I also use God Gave Me a Gift.
Yeah, that's true. I do that one a lot, except it's normally
whenever I blank well. I blank very well. Because man, that whole delivery on that is pitch perfect.
Oh, it's and he's the whole movie like
yeah.
Every second of his face and his speaking is just delightful. Like as good as Ben Stiller is, as good as Kelly, as good as all the characters are. Like William H. Macy steals it. Like sorry, I'm in best.
Yeah.
Can we all agree I'm best? I'm the best. I'm the best. Okay, I'm the best.
I'm trying to refute you on that, and I
fail.
I can't. Because yeah, I mean it's for a lot of those actors, it's my favorite like role of theirs, but still William H. Macy, I think takes the cake.
And it just shows you like what like a really classically trained actor does with comedy. Like, hey, guess what? They're still really good.
Yeah.
William H. Macy, man, will tug at your heartstrings and also just rock Mystery Men.
Kill Mitchell.
Oh, Kill Mitchell. Yeah, delightful. Oh man, his big moment.
Oh yeah.
I did it.
Can you see me? Oh yeah. 2 hands there, buddy. Yeah. So if for some weird reason you haven't seen Mystery Men, do yourself a favor and go watch it.
Oh man, yeah, I remember the first. It did take me back. The one thing like I had like a big wave of nostalgia just the first time, because even though I've seen it fairly recently, it still had been long enough that like I wasn't quoting it, as it went along.
Yeah. And
so it just like even though I knew it was coming this time, it hit me with a wave like the first time I was watching and what's his name? Who dies? Spoilers. No one dies in this film. Big spoiler. Lord of the Rings.
Captain Amazing?
Yes, Captain Amazing.
Greg Kinnear.
Greg Kinnear. I'm like, Greg Kinnear's fucking character. Captain, generic name.
Yeah, Captain Amazing.
Like, you halfway thugh the film, like, alright, the underdogs have to rescue him and they're going to team up, and nope. That is not what occurs in the plot. And it's so good. And, like, the second that happened, the first time I was watching, I was like, this is a whole nother type of movie.
How many toggles in Toto?
So it's just a great movie. It's a great sense of humor. It's just dark enough, but not like twisted dark. It's wacky.
Yeah, it's
wacky. It's weird. It's slapstick at times. It's dry at times.
I mean, I think as someone who I got my sense of humor from Mel Brooks and Monty Python, and I think
and sort of
that's
a nice
why this
system
kind
of
of
the two. Yeah,
it kind of hits me in all the right places.
Because William H. Macy is sort of this dry, understated character, and then there's fart jokes too.
Oh yeah, then there's just the spleen who has the power to control and direct his flatulence.
Played by Paul Rubens, fantastic.
Oh yeah.
But
again, because he's
not
an
William H.
actor in
Macy.
this movie, like...
Except he's not William H. Macy, so fuck your performance.
Yeah.
So Mystery Men, we don't know how to say it. We were big fans, so...
Yeah, see that. It had been a little while longer since I'd seen the Hellboy movies. I think I'd only seen Hellboy 2 in theaters.
Hellboy 2 I'd seen once after theaters, but I'd seen Hellboy more recently.
Yeah, I'd seen Hellboy a few times.
Yeah, I love these movies. It's a wackier Guillermo del Toro sort of sensibility than, so let's say, Pan's Labyrinth. Which I love Pan's Labyrinth and I love these films, but he also does stuff like The Orphanage. So I want to tell people like it's vintage Guillermo del Toro, which it is, but don't think that means it's frightening as shit and like your soul will melt by watching it. It's really good and it's light and funny and it hits you in all the right ways when like it's done in the perfect way of the juxtaposition of these like insane monsters and like petty relationship details.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Because like in the first movie when he's stalking the girl, it's just done so well when he's stalking their date and he's talking to the little kid about it. The little kid's like, well, why don't you go talk to her? And he's like, shut up, kid. You're gonna blow my cover. And he throws shit at him.
Yeah, that and I don't think it has to really be said too much for a Guillermo del Toro movie, but incredible art direction.
Yeah, the art, it's a very particular art sensibility and it's all well done and great. Whereas, like I said, and the good thing is, like, some of the big orcish monsters will veer, on, like, while still scary and still intimidating, will veer on the side of a little more cartoony than, say, like, the Pale Man.
Yeah.
Where it's straight from your soul's nightmare. And it looks stunning still, though.
Yeah, but everything...
Especially the second one. Like,
you see a lot more of it in the second one.
Yeah, as the first one, man, the Angel of Death in the second one, the Golden Army itself.
It's not the black market, it's
the Troll Market.
Yes.
Troll Market.
That whole scene is just filled with that great style.
Ghost guy, what's his name? Wilhelm? Some German. Heinrich?
Klaus.
I told you it was German. Yeah. I knew it was so...
Yeah, like just all the little bits of this movie, and they all fit together. They all have... Like, you could look at this and already picture it having a story and fitting into this universe just by looking at it. And I think that's a quality in just really stellar, unified art direction. Both films.
I also really like them because they both have sort of this plot arc of almost a buddy cop film. I'm not saying that it has the tropes of a buddy cop film, but I noticed this when I recently watched a buddy cop film. That sort of the great thing about them and the reason that I think they're so accessible and so popular is that the story arc form lends itself to not getting you bored. Because while there is this overarching story and they have to like generally the overarching story is getting to know each other and getting to be a cohesive unit and like the togetherness of the team. And the case, while the case also goes throughout that, it's mostly like, okay, well they're doing these little adventure-y things.
We have to go do this thing. Oh my god, there's a big action sequence.
And then we better investigate this one clue, and then like halfway through the movie you find out, okay, here's the final place we need to go and do this big fight. So then that just takes them right to Act 3 where they have this big, maze fight, mansion, dungeon. And that just works really well in this. And you get it without them being thrown off the force, too, which is... You're off the job, Hellboy. You're off the case. So that I really noticed this time around because I was just sort of trying to look and trying to find anything to talk about. I was like, it's great because, they go to the troll market. And even at that point, they know, like, oh, we're looking for this crown. But they don't know the full story of the brother. And they haven't met the girl yet. And it all keeps it moving very nicely.
One thing that I really liked, especially in the second one, was I was able to much more appreciate the character of Klaus. Who's this like ectoplasm ghost dude who hangs out in like a dive suit, pretty much. Played by or voiced by Seth MacFarlane. Now it was Seth MacFarlane's first feature film.
Yes.
And also I'm pretty sure, if memory serves, which may not be accurate. This movie came out shortly after American Dad had aired. Or at least American Dad was on the air when this came out. And so it was I remember when I saw the movie in theaters thinking, oh, it's just the fish.
Uh-huh.
It's just the fish voice. And I couldn't separate that. And so while I liked the things they did with that character, like, I did not...
You didn't care for the vocal performance?
Not that I didn't care for that. It just, I never really connected with it. I didn't see that as a separate character. It's like if you have an actor who you like so much, that, like, you can't separate them from their roles. Like, you're just like, oh, it's this actor doing this thing. I had that effect the first time, but now watching it this time,
being a little freer from American Dad.
Yeah, freer that. Like, yeah, I haven't watched an episode of American Dad in several years, and even then, I've heard a lot more of Seth MacFarlane doing a wide variety of things that I think. Well, I still think, oh, it's Seth MacFarlane somewhere in the back of my head. I could at least attached to the character this time, and I thought he did a very good job.
Yeah,
like that character is great. He has his own little kind of mini arc in there, and the stuff that they do with him is awesome.
Yeah, it's the concept itself is brilliant, and the execution, like just on concept alone, I'm big for awarding points just for concept.
Oh yeah, I think we both are.
Like that's why I will still go. Well, it's Sky High, if you think about Sky High. The thing is, it's not very good.
It's
whatever you're teaching them, keep teaching them it.
I like Sky High.
I like asterisk Sky High, but regardless, it's not.
It's Zoom where we the similar concept, poorer execution.
Yeah, okay, it's definitely better than Zoom. Well, but Zoom has Tim Allen, and I love me some Tim Allen.
Well, yeah, but
that doesn't count. It doesn't count. We're getting off track. That's for another marathon to be mentioned. So Hellboys, yay! Mystery Men, yay!
Yeah, that's
if you haven't seen the Hellboy, especially if you've only seen like one of them, see the other one. They're both good.
Yeah.
While normally I'd say like, oh well, of course you saw one, but sometimes I think some people may have just gone and seen two. Two seem a little more widespread than one.
I do like to tell one story about Hellboy before we wrap up. It is my favorite little bit of trivia about the first Hellboy movie. So I always tell anyone that I can, any chance that I get. We've already talked about it, but
oh, good. I'll be real excited for this then. Go ahead.
David Hyde Pierce voiced Abe Sapien in the first movie. He was played by Doug Jones, and on the set did all the voice there, and I think probably even went through and ADR stuff, like had a vocal track with him there. And then the studio decided that they wanted a big name actor to kind of help tie into the film, so they could put like Ron Perlman and someone else, not Ron Perlman, Doug Jones, and so they wanted to be able to put an actor there, and so they brought in David Hyde Pierce to dub over all of his lines, and so David Hyde Pierce did that because he's like, I like money, but noticed that Doug Jones, there was nothing wrong with his performance. And David Hyde Pierce pretty much didn't change anything about it. He's like, I just listened to those lines and then said them like he did it. And then, after doing that, refused to be credited. Turned down the being credited. So the studio then was out the money for paying David Hyde Pierce, and then still didn't get their name. So then, when the second movie came out, they didn't even bother. They just let Doug Jones do it, which I think is awesome. Yeah, because Doug Jones did great.
And and you didn't really notice the difference.
Yeah, if you didn't know that, you probably wouldn't even tell. Like,
you might go, oh, okay, maybe time has passed. Maybe
he just sounds slightly different. But Doug Jones did very well. The character, the voice of the character, the writing didn't change. And so David Hyde Pierce, super classy guy.
Okay, 2 quick notes. Also happened to Doug Jones in Pan's Labyrinth.
Probably.
For different reasons. No, it did. He didn't speak a word of Spanish. He phonetically learned each of his lines and how they would what accents to put on what words. So he sat there and brute force memorized the noises to make with his mouth, and they ended up dubbing over it.
Oh, poor Doug Jones.
Yeah, so I felt super bad for him on there. So Doug Jones, you're super creepy and weird, but we love you.
Oh God, we love.
And also, just a weird little bit of trivia. This is the only series in the marathon that the sequel is higher rated on IMDb than the original.
Huh.
It's not by much, it's half a point or something, 0.5 or 0.6. But yeah, Hellboy 2 is rated higher, and I really just attribute that to more widespread knowledge. I feel like a lot of people know Hellboy 2, and to their credit, you don't really need to watch Hellboy 1 to get it. They introduce all the characters pretty quickly. You get a feeler for the dynamics. You can just ignore the 1 or 2 lines where they write off characters.
I can't remember if we mentioned Doug Jones also in Tank Girl.
Tank Girl! Doug Jones, tearing up Dark Horse style.
Yeah.
As additional... kangaroos? What are they called?
Yeah, Rippers.
Rippers.
Maybe. We'll go with Rippers. That was a long time ago.
Jesse and the Rippers?
Yep.
Oh,
Lady
man.
and the Jets.
Can you imagine how much more popular Jesse and the Rippers would have been if he was Kangaroo People as his backup band?
I don't know if he would be more popular.
I think you're mistaken.
So yeah, that's it. See those movies. We'll be back with the Frank Miller.
Frank Miller's
ones, so 300 and then Sin City, which I've not seen in a
marathon.
Very, very long time. I remember, I know I like them both. I hope they both hold up.
Mm-hmm.
And we will...
Pointing our fingers
God
at you.
Damn, I don't know. Fucking Star Wars marathon.
Yeah, forever you were ruined. At least the cat gave up trying to escape.
It did. I haven't tried to stop.
I noticed that. The cat for 3 solid minutes and it's like, alright, I'm tired. I'm gonna curl into a bun. Cat bun.
Meow.